Hello, Fuel listeners, and welcome to episode number 24 of Fuel. Today's guest is Casey Adams, who started Rise of the Young. Check him out on Instagram, Snapchat, and he is on fire. He has his own Snapchat marketing course, is writing a book. You're going to love him in this episode. Casey, could you tell my audience a little bit about you and some of the successes you've had thus far?
Definitely. So pretty much my whole entrepreneur journey started around last year when I actually tore a ligament in my spine, and that I got into the personal development type phase of my life, and I started really looking at the opportunities available in the world today. So then after I started I was in my neck brace and in the depressed point of my life, I actually just out of nowhere just started my own brand called Rise of the Young, where we motivate and inspire young individuals all over the world to actually do what you want in life and go for it, because that's what it's all about. And the opportunities in the world today are just absolutely insane compared to what they were 10, 15 years ago. And actually growing up in this generation with social media and just everything out there right now, I've started to leverage online marketing, social media marketing, and I've been growing my brand doing that. And then a few other things that I've done is I actually have my own Snapchat marketing course that I teach businesses and individuals about how to actually market your brand and your own personal brand on Snapchat, whether it be just by posting videos or little clips or little just engaging stories every single day. So that was a huge accomplishment I had. I grinded out the course in around a week after I came back from New York doing a networking event. And then now it's called Rise Up Marketing, and it's on www.riseupmarketing.net. You can go check that out if you want. But yeah, and also I've actually been growing my following and all my Rise of the Young brand on Instagram, grew it to 25,000 followers, but now I'm really focusing on actually creating more engaged content on my Facebook page as well.
Awesome. I love it. So what made you decide to go down this path and be an entrepreneur and kind of step outside of the box a little bit?
All right, definitely. So, my entire life I've grown up, I've been an athlete. I've always had an open mind about things, and I've always kind of wanted to be my own boss, create my own thing rather than just follow other people's footsteps, get told what to do. And so I would say ever since a young age, I've always had that young entrepreneur mindset. But it wasn't until a year ago when I hurt my neck, I actually started turning the gear a little bit and actually going for it and actually pursuing it. And I went to some it was a real estate event actually in Richmond where I live at, and they were telling me about Caleb Maddox, as you guys know, and young entrepreneurs absolutely killing it. And I started to get more motivation and actually start doing it because I see all these people out there just absolutely killing it, seeing the opportunities out there. So I just started just going for it, and ever since then it's just been uphill since then.
Perfect. I love it. So it's really cool that you were able to make that step. And one thing that I read today on Caleb Maddox's Instagram, actually, it's a very cool post. It said people go to school for 12 years, and they go to college for 4 years, and then work till the day they die. That never sounded appealing to me, man. I just want to do something great, and I always had this vision, and I don't want to go the traditional way and go to school and then just constantly be living a job. That never was what I wanted to do. I wanted to be happy and do my own thing. So I think that's very, very cool. And how do you define success?
So my definition of success isn't just about money, because I know a lot of people out there, what they see success as just rich people, snobby people, or just you know what I'm saying, just people that are just wealthy and stuff. But my definition, if you had to say as success, would be just living a life that you want and that you've built for yourself, whether it be you built your own company or you built your own association, and you're just doing what you love every single day. You're passionate about what you're doing and you're being fulfilled, because the quote says success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. And I live by that quote. And if you're doing what you want just to get the money, you're never going to become out as successful and as happy as you think you are, because money doesn't run the world. And as me, I'm still learning all these entrepreneur things. I'm growing as an individual, but my whole mindset right now, and I push out there to a lot of people, is just don't just go for the money. Yes, money is definitely important, and money's a good thing to have, but it's all about fulfillment and actually having passion for what you're doing.
I love it. So one thing that I want to ask you about is, what rituals do you have in your life? So every morning I do what's called the miracle morning, and I have this morning routine I do every morning. And then I have a pre-game routine that I do. Do you have any routines in your life that you feel have contributed to your success?
Yeah, definitely. So right now I'm actually in school, so that's I usually wake up around, 6 o'clock in the morning. I do my little morning things where I have to get ready for school and all that stuff. But I definitely try to read in the morning, because I think I used to hate reading, but now it's reading is such a huge thing to me, because the reading that they teach you in school isn't just like education. It's just like reading like stories that you don't want to read. And once you actually find things that you want to read out and you want to read about and actually educate yourself in, it gets so many like beyond the limits that you can ever think of. Because like once you're like consistently reading, you're like actually getting into that mindset of learning every single day, building on your education that you have. It's a great thing to do. So like besides reading every day, I always try to definitely stay on my physical health and actually go to the gym, actually like listen to podcasts, listen to motivational things, because it's all about what your thoughts are in your head, because what you think is what you do. And like if you're thinking in negative things, thinking about just doing things that are time wasting and distracting, watching TV, that all adds up in the long run. And it's definitely important just to have those little key things that just set you different from the rest of the crowd.
I love that. And, that's like one of my new goals. I just redid my goals today, actually, and I want to read a book a week because I think reading is so important. Tai Lopez talks about that. Anyone that's big in the game talks about reading a lot. So that's been one of my goals. And before this, I've been reading a lot as well, and it's made a very big difference in my life. So I love that comment. And what would you consider the number one tool for success?
So for me, if I had to answer this in one thing, the number one tool for success in my eyes is literally surrounding yourself with positive people and surrounding yourself with people that are actually going to like put you on your path to success. Because the famous quote is the 5 people you surround yourself with, you are the sum of that. So if you're surrounding yourself with negative people, you're going to become the next negative person. If you surround yourself with 5 poor people, you're going to be the 6th poor person. Like you actually have to find that group of people, find that network, find those individuals that you're surrounding yourself with, and because that is what's going to take your life to the next level. And some people always like to look at it. If you talk to some people, like they don't think that's true. Like you're your own person, but it is true because you feed off what people do and what they think. And my thing for success is just surrounding yourself with positive individuals that are going to take your life to the next level.
Absolutely. Great answer. And I think that's so true. People are like, nah, that's not really true. But if you just spend a certain amount of time with this one group of people that talk a certain way, you're with them for about 10 minutes before you start changing the way you talk. So that's definitely big. And I think the way you surround yourself and the people you surround yourself is so key and so important. What do you think makes you different? What puts you in the top percentage of people, and what made you different from all those people in high school?
So in my community, like a lot of people, just the average high schooler, like all they're doing is just partying. All they're just not focusing on the future, focusing on the now, spending money rather than just actually thinking about how they could invest it, how they could make more money, how they could manifest that and actually like do things differently. Like the way I separate myself and the way I believe that I'm different in that thing is that I don't just focus on what's happening now. I like to have a clear vision of where I want to be in the next 6, 12, 18 months, like Tai Lopez says. I like to have a realistic goals. I like to have long-term goals because I think it's very important that you don't just have long-term goals. You have a way you want to get to them and take your little steps, because every step of the way is important. It's not that one leap, how you're going to get to wherever you want to go. So that's definitely one thing that I definitely think is very important that I've done differently. And then also just like definitely having time to yourself, because you can always surround yourself with people. You can always be around people. But like once you're actually in that state of mind by yourself in a room alone, just thinking, brainstorming, whatever, you really get your real thoughts out. You can either write them down or just think about them, put them into action, because like you actually have to put that time in the day, every single day, just to like think and actually like, instead of just watch TV and let your brain do whatever and just stare at a screen. Like you actually have to think and actually like build something and focus on something more than just the average person does.
I love it. So you do a lot with marketing. What is one thing that a lot of people do wrong with marketing, and how can you help my few listeners who maybe have products, since there are a lot of entrepreneurs listening? What can they do to market their product?
So one thing that I think a lot of people mess up on marketing is they just present products or present whatever they're marketing in a way not to benefit people. And that's what I think a lot of people do wrong, is they don't put it in place to benefit people. They do it to benefit them, or, hey, go check this out. You're like, blah, blah, blah. They don't do it in a way to help the other individual on the other side of the phone or on the other side, because what marketing is nowadays, it's all online. Everything's online. Everything's on a screen. And you have to focus on that other individual on the other side of the screen that's actually reading and watching your videos or reading your articles or whatever. And I think a big thing that to actually implement now, a little key thing, is just like teaching people how to actually not only just do it for yourself, because that's not what it is. It's definitely about helping others and teaching them either your product or whatever you're doing to help benefit them.
I love that. I think that's so true. What are you most proud of right now, Casey?
So one thing that I'm most proud of, or one of the few things that I'm most proud of, is definitely my Snapchat marketing course that I put together, because Snapchat is definitely a growing industry, and definitely a way to get a lot of engaged viewers onto your brand or whatever you're doing. So I'm really actually motivated by how I built my own Snapchat marketing course with one of my mentors named Bill. He helped me put the course together in like 4 days. We grinded it out like 6 hours a day, putting all the websites, because there's a lot to building a course. Like, I'm not going to go into it, but it's just like a lot of things, and I wouldn't be able to have done it without that person to guide me along that way. But then definitely just the Snapchat marketing course, definitely, and then how a lot of people think that mindset isn't important, but definitely like the mindset that I'm in, the mindset that you have to be in to actually achieve your goals and achieve the results you want. Because I'm really thankful for the mindset I have, how I don't let things like just the media outside, the television, the Xbox, the games, whatever people are doing in high school overrule me. Because mindset is, I'm very like, not, I wouldn't say like generous. It's just like the way I've adapted, the way I've grown up, like the mindset I have about life in general, the whole world. I'm thankful for traveling and how I've actually got a huge better perspective on the world. And that's just a great way to just like separate yourself from people.
Okay, sweet. I like that. So I have two things I want you to elaborate on there. So number one, how do you get into a good mindset? And that was one thing I was kind of struggling with my course is how do you get yourself into that mindset to be able to do great things? And then what exactly is that mindset?
So I definitely think it's all about where you come from, because every person has their own story. They have their own like way of growing up. They all have their own story. You know what I'm saying? So wherever you are, whatever mindset you're in, it's not just like a snap your finger type. You have this new mindset, and it's never gonna be like that. It's all about just building yourself as an individual, setting new standards. Because like if you want to read a book a week, a book a month, a book a year, like those things that you do aren't just things that are gonna, I want to read a book a year. They actually connect. They later are gonna connect the dots the way to your success. And I've seen a lot, like if you were to go back a year into my life and to see where I am now, building all these courses, helping, inspiring individuals, those things, when you're doing them, like you don't think about how they're going to add up. And that's a good thing about where your mindset is. You actually have to be building what you want every single day consistently, because that's how you're going to get it engraved in your brain, is by doing it consistently. And that's a great way to actually build your mindset on whatever you're doing. Do it every day.
I love it. So you were telling me a little bit about the book you want to put on right now. Could you tell my few listeners a little bit about that book, what it's going to be about, and why they should get that book?
So you're talking about like the book I want to write?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So like right now, I want to write a book about how to actually just, not about myself, but about how the opportunities and the way the world is now, because I feel like I could get a lot of thoughts out on paper, and I've actually been working on it right now. And I don't know the exact title, what I want to do yet, but it's all going to be about just like ways to actually change your mindset, ways you can start implementing now. Because a lot of people, they can read stuff, they can read 100,000 pages, but if you don't know how to take that next step and put that thought into action, it's never going to benefit you. Because everyone has $1,000,000 ideas. So I definitely want to get out in my book practical steps that every young individual or people all around the world can take to actually start getting on their journey to other entrepreneurship or whatever they're most passionate about. And that's kind of what I want to do in the book. And also about like the education system, because a lot of people, they think like the education system is the only route to go. And I don't want to like hate on the education system, because definitely it's like, if you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, like the education, college, that's very important to them. But like, I want to go on about like how there's so many other opportunities, whether it be the stock market, Forex, online marketing, online stores, or thousands of other things out there that you can be creating a lifestyle that you want on your own time. And that's kind of what I want to go in depth about.
Awesome. I love that, and I'm going to check that book as soon as it comes out. And for all my few listeners, I'm super excited to have Casey on, and I'm super excited to have made this relation with Casey. I met him yesterday, and we're going to do some really cool stuff. He's going to help me out with my marketing, and I'm going to help him get a podcast set up, and then we're going to help each other along the road to get a book out, because it's really important to spend your time with 3 groups of people. And Casey, I think you'd really appreciate this, is a third amount of the people you spend the most time with should be people that you're mentoring and people that you want to inspire and who are maybe not where you want to be. The second group is people who are at where you are and who can help you and who you can help each other to become more successful. And the last group is you need to spend the last third amount of your time with people who are doing things that you want to be doing in 10 years or where you want to be. So I love that answer. And what is one thing that has you fueled right now?
So the one thing that really has me fueled right now is just momentum. And a lot of people, they get miscarried away by the word momentum, because momentum is a really strong thing. And once you're actually doing things, you're putting in the work that you want, you're passionate about what you're doing, and you're seeing results, there's nothing that's going to stop you other than yourself to actually pursue your dreams, pursue your goals. Because like I said, like momentum, it's just a ball. Once it starts rolling, if you let it keep rolling, it's just going to build to bigger and better opportunities in your life. So that's kind of what I'm focusing on, is just momentum, because that's how it's going right now, just the ball rolling down the hill.
Absolutely. So where do you go when you need a little bit more motivation?
So I always like to look back and like say, like, if I was to start a year ago where I was then, how would I want to look at myself now and how I've progressed? I like to be grateful for what I have, my family, like my health and everything, because China, like traveling to China, traveling all around the world, it really puts a perspective on you about like how so many people all around the world like are just want water, they want shelter, they want stuff that's like a human necessity, but they can't have it. And I like to be grateful, and that really motivates me to actually keep going, because the like the circumstances I'm in my life, how I'm so grateful for my house and my family, and just having a well brought up life. So that's really what motivates me, is just fulfilling my dream, fulfilling my goals, and like creating a legacy for myself and my family.
I love it. So I love that you've gone to China and you've gone to all these cool places in the world and gained all these new perspectives. And one thing that I was looking at this motivational video this morning, because since that's what I do, since I'm trying to motivate through this podcast, I have to like give myself as much knowledge as possible and learn as much as I can. I was watching this motivational video, and it was talking about how when you want to succeed so bad, like if you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, that's when you're going to be successful. When you're so obsessed, that's when you're going to be successful. So great
ET,
answer.
right?
ET, what was that?
The dude, like the motivational speaker, ET.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a beast. But yeah, definitely, man.
He's cool. So who has been your greatest mentor?
So I just want to start off, like, one of my greatest mentors is definitely my dad. He's just put a lot of things, like just human things, like respect and all that thing. But definitely for entrepreneurship, I'd have to give it to Ty Lopez, because once I got started on my journey, I actually got into book a day type thing, because I got started in his 67 steps, and that's one of his Ty Lopez's programs, and it really puts a different perspective on life, on your goals, on the 4 pillars of life, on where you want to be in your life, and how to like look at life as a sculpture rather than like a lottery ticket approach, how to chip away at your life every single day rather than just hope for it and to actually just go for it. So I would definitely say Ty is definitely one of my biggest mentors, and also my good friend Bill, who actually got me started into the online network marketing industry, because it was only about in August right now, and it's October right now, and I wanted to get into network marketing. I wanted to start making money online, because I just turned 16 and my mom wanted me to get a job. So I ran into this dude named Bill online, and he like told me about what he was doing on Snapchat, network marketing, online marketing, and he really like helped me get started on my journey. I ended up getting like over 75 sales online within a month using Snapchat and Facebook. And he actually, when we met up in New York City, because he lives in New Jersey, we met up in New York City. We were just networking a little bit, and then I grinded out the course. And then when I got home, we just put together the course and made my Snapchat marketing course. So he definitely is a huge mentor. He helped me build the course, helped me get into network marketing. And yeah, so just that's definitely one of my 2 biggest mentors.
Man, I can't wait to find that course and tap into that, because I'm sure that's some great information. What advice do you have for entrepreneurs, or I apologize, people who are thinking about starting a business and maybe they're in high school and they just don't want to start their business because they don't have enough time, they don't know what kind of business they want to start, but they want to be an entrepreneur? What advice do you have for those people?
Definitely. So one thing that I could definitely, as a practical thing, is don't look at it as like you want to start a business, but rather do what you're passionate about and build a business around it, because that's the key. Like if you like sports and you want, or like whatever you want, like try to build a business around that, so you're being fulfilled and you're actually building on something because you want to, and not because you want to make money or you want to build a business, because it's all about what you want to do and the passion that you have for what you're doing. So definitely and don't try to look at it like, oh my God, I want to build this $1 million corporation, because every 1,000-mile journey starts with a single step, and you have to start off by just taking the first bare minimum step, because those little steps are gonna take you to the next level over time.
And get that ball of momentum rolling, right?
Absolutely.
Sweet. So for all these entrepreneurs, how can they find their passions?
So definitely, that's what a lot of people. Actually, one of my good friends always tells me that, like, because a lot of people say, like, I don't have that one thing that I've been doing for my whole life, or I don't have that thing that I'm passionate about. If you told me, like, what are you passionate about? So one thing that I could say to a lot of people listening to this right now is, whatever you're passionate about, or whatever you don't think you're passionate about, definitely experiment. And I'm not saying just like go try things that you've never done before just to try them. Like, whatever you like, pick out like 5-10 things that you like, and like literally, as you have to think, it's all about like self development. You have to develop like what is your passion, and no one else can decide that except for you. So if you're confused about like what am I passionate about, what I want to do, don't just stand there and think for the next 5 weeks about what you're passionate about. Like, because everyone has that inner passion, whether it be just walking around, running, athletics, or a specific niche, or just educating. Like, if you start with education, that's definitely something that you can build around, because it doesn't have to be as specific as you think it has to be. You just have to find that one niche and then build off of that.
I love it. That's great advice. So what is the best advice you've ever received?
Definitely. So one time I was actually on a FaceTime call with Gerard Adams, and what we were talking about, I was talking about my little business and things that I've done, whether in real estate and all that type of thing. And he literally, like, he was just saying, like, I love it. Like, you have a lot of education, you've been learning a lot, but definitely like focus on one thing and focus on it a lot, because anyone can like learn about real estate, learn about stocks, learn about everything, like 10 different things, but people are looking for the masters in their industry. People are looking for the experts, the people that are done it and successful at it. So definitely like focusing on that one thing and making it happen before you move on to the next. And that's what I had troubles with at the beginning. I was learning a lot of different things, and then learning, like, when I got on that FaceTime call with Gerard, he really like put in perspective, like, as a successful entrepreneur he is, as the CEO of Elite Daily, sold it for $50 million. Like, I really think it's a lot of encouragement to like take that in and actually implement it, because like he was saying, like, focus on one thing and do it. Don't just focus on so many other things and don't put anything into action. You just have to really focus in and get down to business.
I love that. Focus on one thing. I did my 5-minute Friday today, which for my field listeners is not today, but because they'll see in this episode in about 2 weeks. But I did my 5-minute Friday today on your priorities, because a lot of people will say, they'll make up excuses and they'll say, I don't have time to do this. But the truth is, they have time, they're just not making it a priority. So if you define your priorities, then you could recognize what you have time for and what you do not have time for. And most of the time, if you're willing to set your entertainment and put your priorities above that, then you'll be able to get everything you want to get done. So
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. And what book would you recommend to few listeners, and why?
So one book that I really recommend is definitely How to Win Friends and Influence People, because that's a great book just to actually like get your mind right, get your whole like person-to-person development right, because connecting with humans is the biggest thing that's going to take you to the next level, because no business is a one-man business. Everything is about team and communicating and actually building a network and building relationships with other individuals out there. So definitely check out How to Win Friends and Influence People by who was it by? I don't remember, but yeah, Dale Carnegie. Yeah. So yeah, definitely go check that book out. It's a great read.
Best book of all time. I'm so happy you've read that. I think that's probably the most effective book in my life that I've ever read, and probably that I ever will read, because it's incredible book. So okay, my bad. I gotta check on these questions real quick. What are 3 ways few listeners can take clear action steps today?
All right, so definitely for all the listeners listening to this, you gotta remember that it's not about right now, as you're starting off, it's not about the big picture. It's about taking the small steps, like you're saying. And 3 practical steps that I could give you right now to actually put it into action is definitely whatever you're passionate about, whatever you're trying to do, build a social media around it. Start getting more followers on social media, because social media, everyone starts off small on social media, and the day you start off is the day you begin. And social media is such a huge thing that once you start building it, it's only up from there. So that's number 1 that I would definitely start social media. And then number 2 is just connecting with people, rather it be individuals that are 10 years ahead of you, people that are younger than you, or people that are just like starting off as you. Definitely connecting with people, getting to know their stories and their backgrounds and what they're doing, so you can start learning from individuals, because connections are really going to take you a long way and people won't even know it. But so yeah, definitely connecting with people, because that's a huge thing. And then number 3 is definitely just writing down your goals and writing down where you want to be every single day. And yeah, a lot of people say, oh, like writing down your goals isn't going to take you far, or it's not going to actually propel your success. And it's not. Like writing down your goals, and that's not going to make you successful. But having a goal and having a thing and actually taking action on it, that's what's going to take you to the next step. And having a clear map, a clear vision on where you want to be is definitely going to help you take your life to the next level.
I love it. And I like how you said write down your goals, because there's a very big difference between just having your goals in your mind and actually writing them down. And not even just writing them down, but writing them down every single day, like you said, because the thing about it is if you're writing down your goals every day, then it's ingrained in your mind and you're going to be scanning the world to achieve those things. And everything you do is going to be stepping towards those things. And the law of attraction is going to work if you have those written down and you know what they are. So I love that. And then usually this is where I ask my guests what advice they'd give to their former teenage self. But that one doesn't work on you. So what last parting words of advice do you have for Fueled listeners?
All right, yeah. So my last little drop of advice is definitely just take action, and that's something that Caleb Maddox would say as well. Just take action, and like whether it be just something like starting a social media or connecting with people, and that doesn't seem like the action you want to take, but that's definitely going to add up, and that's definitely going to be where your starting point is going to be in this industry online. Because how it used to be 10, 15 years ago when I was just like born, like it was the whole marketing, the whole online connecting with people was all door to door. It wasn't online. Like the way that we're living in this generation now with the opportunities online, with all the social medias out there, it's a great way to actually build something bigger than yourself, because it's a whole world of opportunities out there rather than just your local community or your even country, because social media is just the entire world in general. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And I think that's so key, because a lot of the times we procrastinate our dreams and we say, I'm not gonna do that today, I'll do it tomorrow. Whenever you ask someone like when they're gonna start working out, they're like, oh, tomorrow, and then the next day they're gonna say, oh no, tomorrow. So rather than procrastinating, take action today. Thank you so much, Casey, for getting on to this episode, and thank you all, Fueled listeners, for tuning in to this episode of Fueled. I'll see you all in future episodes.